unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live, Boxing Ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. The legend himself, Roy Jones Jr., says that it wasn't the suit that cost Deontay Wilder. Don't blame the suit now. And he said he feels bad for Deontay Wilder. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We working. Sign up for ESPN Plus below using my link. It definitely helps the channel when you guys use that link. Also, UFC 248, Adesanya defends his title against Always Game, you know, multiple time that he went up for a title, Yoel Romero. I'm looking forward to that. It's a great main event, March 7th. Order the pay-per-view. You can click on my link, and again, it helps the channel. Now, link in the description. There's an interview with Roy Jones, an exclusive interview, and he basically said that it wasn't the suit. You can't just blame it off on the suit why Wilder lost. And I'm going to read some quotes from him if you want to listen to him verbatim. You know, he was expressing himself truthfully and trying to keep it real with the situation. And he says, he was asked basically if the costume hurt Wilder's legs. Roy said no, it wasn't the costume. It was Fury's 273 pounds of flesh that weakened his legs. Tyson put that 273 pounds on them legs every chance he got from round 1 to round 7. That costume had nothing to do with it. He said, if your legs are that weak, then you shouldn't be boxing. He said, I played a game of basketball before I fought, and I did everything before I fought. I got a 35 to 45 pound suit that I wear before I fight on purpose to shadow box before I go into the ring. But I'm in shape to do that. He says, but if I have a 273 pound man leaning on me because I'm letting him, then that probably would cause my legs to weaken more than normal. He says, but I can't use that as an excuse because if I didn't let anyone lean on me, it wouldn't be a problem. Right? He goes on to say, you took a chance to wear that suit. That's on you. He said, that's on you, bro. No one forced you to do that. You got to take that on yourself. That's nobody's fault. Tyson Fury put that 273 pounds. He put that 273 pounds on him in the first round. He made him wear that. He made him wear that 273 pounds all night. He said it wasn't the suit before the fight. You wore the 273 all night. Sorry, I love Roy Jones. He said it was the suit he was wearing during the fight. He said it wasn't the suit before the fight. It was the suit bars. He said it wasn't the suit. It wasn't the suit before the fight. It was the suit he was wearing during the fight. Damn. He said, I feel sorry. He said the suit he was wearing during the fight was 273 pounds. That's what the problem was. I felt sorry, he said, for Deontay Wilder because they didn't stop him before this point to teach him more about boxing. But that same power punch that put Fury down in round 12 last time, if he land that, he could do it again and Fury will be counted out. So on that alone, he has a chance. He's not going to outbox Fury, but he can land that shot. He's got a chance. They don't call him Bomb Squad for no reason. He earned that reputation for his name. I just feel sorry that he didn't learn how to box with that. So if he can land that punch, he can change anything. He showed that he can put Fury down with that punch. End quote. Man, shout out to Deontay Wilder and shout out to Tyson Fury. You know, the fight is over. Congrats to Tyson Fury. and the new WBC champion. But the reason I'm shouting them both out is because look at all this content. Look at all the views I'm getting. You know, all the content that people are having, all the questions to, you know, picking people's brain, other people asking about the fight. Everybody watched this fight, you know, and I think it's a marvelous thing. I feel like with all this costume talk and all this stuff that people are debating, let's not forget that these two warriors put it all on, you know, especially Wilder, because he was the WBC champion. Some people even said he lost and all this stuff in the first fight. So he could have just stayed clear from Fury and said, I really knocked him out. You know, he don't get no rematch. He could have been like, oh, 70-30 or 90-10, you know, something that he knew Fury's side would probably not accept. And you know, things that would stagnate the negotiation process. So I commend Wilder. You know, during a time like this, people are going to kick you when you're down. You know, Wilder represents the culture. So you got people from all angles, you know, attacking Wilder, saying, oh, you made excuses. So I'm a boxing head, so I don't want people to forget what this is about. So shout out to Wilder and Fury also, because if he hadn't got himself back into contention and shape from where he was at, that dark place in life, then we wouldn't have had this. None of this would be a reality. So I really want to express that, because, you know, I'm going to continue making videos and talking about the nuanced things and the costumes and, you know, whatever happens in this whole like trilogy and saga and sequel and all that. But I feel like people are getting lost in the sauce. So I want to take on my channel, since I'm a trendsetter, you know, I want to take a little bit of time just to say thanks, bro. You know, it's not always that boxing gets stuff right, and this time they got it right, because this was a good fight. The first one was a good fight, and it gave us all something to talk about. Now back to Roy Jones. Didn't I just say that? I think Roy Jones was expressing himself truthfully. His commentary was honest, and I like what he was saying. I like what he was saying because I think it was true. Like for me, I told you, I didn't personally care for Wilder even bringing up the costume, because you have to assume that's how it's going to get, you know, it's going to get lumped up and, you know, considered an excuse, and it doesn't change anything. So, you know, I prefer he just kept it to himself and work on changing it. And I really hope that he's going into this rematch, if he does trigger the rematch, like open-minded and, you know, stripping himself down to really went wrong. Because if he's feeling it's just a costume, like everything else, because I seen he said Fury never hurt me, but he looked hurt. You know, he said he never hurt me with punches. Those things from the outside, I don't know what he felt internally, but from the outside looking in, it looked like a little bit of a stretch. It looked like he was getting hurt in there. You know, people are telling him what to do with Mark Breland. Like, that's none of my business. That's his team. That's who I mean, he's going to have whoever he wants train him, stuff like that. But it looked like Fury was able to hurt him. He said Fury is pillow fisted, and it just seems like kind of like a bit of a bruised ego, you know, no pun intended. Bit of a bruised ego, saying he didn't hurt me, saying the suit, you know, and it could be just the narration, how it was written, you know, the title and the headliner. That's what everyone's focusing on. But you have to take into consideration he was being asked questions, and that's part of what he felt went wrong. But I also said this previously. I don't think you can trace this back to one misstep, and if this one thing was altered, the outcome of the fight would have been substantially or significantly different. So I hope Wilder doesn't, in his mind, in his heart, really believe that it was attributed to any one thing. Like, he did give Fury credit, but I think Fury deserves more credit, because Fury literally told you what the game plan was, and he came out and did that. You see what I'm saying? And if you listen to Roy Jones' commentary, I think he's dead on. And this is what I said. It wasn't, this is my personal opinion. I think the suit probably did deafen his leg, you know, deaden his legs a little bit, or add additional tension. But the other thing is, I don't think it's just that. I think his nerves, if your nerves, this was a big high stakes fight. We all knew that. You know, this was a guy who got up, woke from the dead, Undertaker stuff, and you are the knockout artist and you're the champion. So there was a lot of pressure on Wilder. A pressure because somehow he woke from the dead. You got to worry about if he could take your power, you know, stuff like that. That stuff can change the mindset of a fight, like discourage a power puncher. Like, damn, how do you get up from my power? You know, normally people, it's just discouraging. People normally go to sleep when I punch them like that. And he went to sleep and then got back up and fought pretty well, you know. So there was a lot of pressure. So I think the costume, you know, it probably was heavy. But I also think Wilder's nerves probably weren't untangled. It probably, you know, it's like having a bad day. The costume was probably heavy, you know. He probably, you know, had a, and I said probably because it's not me. So I can't, you know, give you 100% what someone else is thinking. But like I said, it's like having a bad day. You ever have the when it rains it pours type of day? That's kind of what it happened. That's what I think. It was just a perfect storm and a recipe for disaster. He probably got the night before, got the costume like, dang, this is kind of heavy. You know, his mood looked very like melancholy and stoic, like walking to the MGM. And I thought he was just like in like kill mode, you know, but he looked real, just real, like no emotion. Like, I don't know, maybe nervous or whatever. It was just a big fight. And that has to be hard. Like Tyson Fury looked a bit more just relaxed. He came out on the throne and he was like smiling and stuff. He looked a little bit more, you know. It was actually similar to the Andy Ruiz, like the Andy Ruiz Joshua fight. But the only thing is, Joshua to me looked actually scared. Wilder didn't look scared. You know, it's hard to explain, and I don't want to really compare too much, but it reminded me of that fight. Joshua looked like worried and scared and like unconfident. Wilder didn't look unconfident and scared per se, but he just looked almost like he just woke up and he was like pissed off or like real groggy. Like he was just like real tense maybe. You see what I'm saying? So he came out and it's just like one bad thing led to another. Then he gets hit and knocked down. He's not used to that. All of his title defenses, he hasn't been knocked down. Even the times he's been hurt by Eric Molina and Luis Ortiz, he didn't go down. So that was a discouraging moment. The fact that Tyson Fury won all the rounds, like, you know, so he's winning the early rounds, then he drops you. And you said he was pillow fit. You know, it's just one thing after another. So I agree with Roy Jones. The other part of the suit thing is this. Yeah, the suit, you know, it probably it wore on your legs. Cool. And then, you know, I seen the clip from Joe Rogan Experience where Wilder said he does everything with the 45-pound weight vest, you know. And, you know, it's ironic that he has a quote saying that, and then the suit weighs that exact same much, or that exact same amount. So to me, it has to be more than just the suit. You know what I mean? I think Wilder, the moment was like, you know, I think he was nervous. You know, he had jitters and stuff. That burns your energy. Missing your shots, that burns your energy. And those are all things that kind of happen. Tyson Fury has some pretty good movement. Wilder was biting on Fury's feints. And then what Roy Jones is saying is the same thing that I've said. The other big thing was Tyson Fury came in heavy for this fight and had a strategy. And I think it's just everything went right for Fury. Everything. He told you what he was going to do. And since Fury says so many different things, I think Wilder was caught off guard because he didn't really think Fury would dare challenge his power and come straight to him that quick, that early in the fight. So it was just, everything was off to a bad start. And like I said, when it rains, when it pours. So he really let Fury get over on him. And then Fury coming in with all that weight and that extra weight, plus Wilder came in a bit heavier, because I noticed that, but I was like, nah, he's fought at 229s and stuff like that before. So he should be good, because Fury had gained more weight. And with the Andy Ruiz weight gain from the Joshua first fight to the second fight, and like people like Buster Douglas, I'm thinking it's more detrimental to Fury. But in hindsight, seeing how it played out, maybe that hurt Wilder more, because he's saying his legs were weakened and stuff. He's also came in more muscular and massy than he normally does. Like if you look at some of his that could have actually, instead of the suit, that could have been a big thing, because he put on muscle, you know, and it looked good. He looked like in shape and stuff, but he was 231. When he knocked Fury down and knocked him unconscious, he was 212. So maybe he overdid it. So I just hope Wilder's realistic, and this is going to be a very trying and it's going to be an interesting moment for Wilder's career. He's at a real crossroads, because when things like this happen, like Wilder represented the culture, represented black people, and I think he did it proudly. So there's a lot of haters that came out the woodwork as soon as he lost. So there's a lot of people like who are writing him off, don't believe in him, mocking him, making fun of him, posting Joe Rogan, oh, you said 45, you're a liar. You know, your enemies like Dillian Whites and people like that are like having fun with it. Eddie Hearn's talking his stuff. So it's going to be, you know, that could weigh on somebody. So it's going to be interesting to see how Wilder bounces back from this. He's going to have to remain strong, cancel all that noise out, get back to the basics, see who his team's going to be, and, you know, come back to the Fury fight accurately. But I don't think it could be linked to any one thing. I think it was just a disastrous night for a multitude of reasons. And hopefully, and it's hard, I'm sure, when so many people like are hating and, you know, sending negativity your way. When you're up, everybody's with you. When you're down, you know, it becomes the loneliest sport in the world. Like when Adrian Broner lost to Maidana or whatever, right? So I hope Wilder is at least receptive to other people's messages like Roy Jones, because trust me, I know when people are cooning, I know when people are hating. To me, what Roy Jones was saying, I think he was dropping some gems. I don't think he was saying it just to hate. Some people, you know, like Stephen A. Smith or something, he might just say something over the top. But I don't think Roy Jones was being malicious. I think he was being honest. And I actually agree with what he was saying. I think more so than the suit. What do you think weighs you down more? A 45-pound suit, or a guy who's hitting you to the body, landing good shots, and having his way and like ragdolling you and leaning on you and grinding you down, weighing 273, plus you came in more weight than you're used to carrying on your own body. So I think it was just a bunch of mishaps like that for Deontay Wilder, and it was a bad night at the office. And if he's going back in the Fury fight, he's going to have to make some major adjustments. He's going to have to determine, is 231 his ideal weight? Because, you know, Fury weighed 20 pounds less, and he weighed a lot less. He weighed like 212, still knocked Tyson Fury out. So maybe he's swifter from, you know, 212 to, let's say, 219. Maybe he shouldn't go all the way. He's eating up, because I've talked to his coach and stuff, and they said he has to eat. You know, I want to eat MCs, like Mike Tyson said. And he has to like eat more and control his weight. And that was the game plan. So to me, the game plan Fury had versus, in hindsight, the game plan that Wilder had, the plan that Fury had worked. The plan that Wilder's team did maybe backfired, because they had him gaining weight, thinking like, okay, Fury's gonna come in heavy, you know, things like that. His eye was cut, you know, and I think they might have slept on Fury's ability to do that, you know. So that's what I really feel. I think they maybe were overconfident, like, oh, Fury looked poor in his last fight. See, Fury, you got to watch these gypsies. These gypsies be crafty and tricky. When Billy Joe Saunders, he's a gypsy too, and a Tyson Fury friend, he'll have a poor performance against a nobody, and then he'll fight David Lemieux and look like real well. You know what I'm saying? So it's like unpredictable behavior, and that's kind of what Fury did. So you can't go for the okie doke. So it's just a culmination of things that Wilder's team strategically looking like. Obviously, I picked Wilder to win because that's what I thought would happen. But after the outcome is rendered, you get to look at it and see. And there's probably certain things that they did that the strategy was counterproductive to Fury's strategy, because Fury's strategy worked. You know, being bigger, for Fury to be bigger, that helped him. Him having the extra weight helped him. Deontay Wilder, him having the extra weight, it wasn't really proven to help him. Like he's saying his legs were weakened. He's not normally carrying that much muscle on him. Plus the suit was heavy. Plus Tyson Fury's leaning on you. Plus Tyson Fury had a good strategy and he was landing shots, like body shots and stuff like that. You know, all in all, it wasn't his night. But I thought Roy Jones was giving some real life commentary. He said, you know, it wasn't the suit per se. It was the suit you was wearing in the fight. And that's because you couldn't prevent, like, you know, fundamentally, you couldn't prevent the bigger man from resting on you and keep him off of you. And that's something that they're going to have to try to figure out, or otherwise the rematch is going to be, the trilogy fight is going to be real hard, because he has to find a way. If that game plan worked, you know, Tyson Fury could try to run that right back. So Wilder's going to have to fight on the inside, or like find ways to fight in the pocket and get some respect. He's the shorter person, you know, next to Fury, so he's going to have to just really plan for it and not allow the bigger guy to bully you. Because and it was a great strategy by the Kronk Gym, you know, seeing how it all played out, because normally the big guy is keeping his distance. Like big guys like Klitschko and Lennox Lewis and stuff, they're utilizing their height. They're the taller guy, you know. Klitschko's taller than Alex Lepai and Kubrat Pulev, and taller than Povetkin, way taller than him, stuff like that. Normally you see the tall guy being tall and like trying to keep you at bay, the shorter person, trying to keep Povetkin from getting on the inside, you know, clinching, but then also jabbing, stuff like that. Like, so if you get on the inside, lock him up and clinch him. Fury, you seen him, the aggressor. That, for Wilder to win, that absolutely can't happen. He can't let Tyson Fury keep getting off first, you know, initiating the punches and be waiting, you know, and you can't let him initiate the clinch. You got to work out the clinch, because Tyson Fury was like, you know, one arm free. He was hitting Wilder. It was just he was grinding him down. Great strategy, great game plan, and it was different. It was unique, and it was something that a lot of people, including myself, didn't think he would be able to pull off, and he did it. So let me know what you guys think of Roy Jones Jr.'s commentary. I actually agree with Roy. I think more so than the suit, which I do think the suit probably did affect his legs. I still probably wouldn't have said it if it was me, but because my thing is with saying it, who cares? Just you have to correct it. It doesn't get your belt back. The only way you're gonna get your belt back is to beat this guy now. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably why I wouldn't have said it if it was me. And you know, people are gonna hate and say you're just making excuses, even if it's the God honest truth. You know, the suit was heavier than you anticipated. But again, my other aspect of it is I can't attribute it all to the suit. You have to give credit to Fury, the Kronk Gym, Fury's physical attributes, the style he imposed. It was just his night. He was just a better fighter, you know. But Roy Jones, he said it best. He said it wasn't the suit you wore before the fight, it was the suit you were wearing in the fight. So actually, I think it would be nice to see Roy Jones and Wilder, like to have Wilder like train with Roy Jones. George Foreman also offered to train Wilder. I think he might want to go to one of those OG fighters and get some additional. I'm not saying he has to fire anybody or anything, but bring in an additional set of eyes to see, because if he's triggering this immediate trilogy rematch, he's gonna have to change some major stuff, especially if it's supposed to happen in the summer, like I guess the contract suggested. You know, if they push it back to the fall, that gives them a little bit more time to practice and stuff like that. But all in all, I agree with Roy Jones. I think it was more so what Tyson Fury was doing right and the style of fight he made Wilder fight than anything. You know, you had a 273-pound man weighing on you, and he did the same thing with Steve Cunningham and even Otto Wallin. And you've seen Otto Wallin started getting zapped and tired, you know. So Wilder's gonna have to try to work around that. And I also think, looking at the fight, how it all played out, I think Wilder is not used to coming from behind. Plus, whatever the nerves or the suit and Tyson Fury weighing on, whatever had Wilder's leg shot, that was also a recipe for disaster, because that's how his power is generated. And we know he's not more technical than the guys like Fury or Luis Ortiz. So that's what bailed him out. So if you don't have power and you're allowing this to happen, you know, then you don't have the same bailout until your legs come back and you can get some, you know, proper power shots off, you know. So I can't wait. You know, this is a real good trilogy. I cannot wait to see it, if he does in fact go through with the trilogy, because that's not a given. He said he was going to, but you know, you never know. We thought we were going to get Hurd versus J-Rock, and it's a dangerous trilogy for him to take straight away, you know. So we'll see what Wilder decides. Let me know what you guys think of Roy Jones' commentary and mine as well. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. If you love what I'm doing, smash the like button. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, is Ego signing off.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.